And welcome to another edition of the Pekin First podcast. This is episode 23, and my name is Josh, and I get the absolute pleasure of serving as the online ministries director here at Pekin First.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean. I get to serve as the pastor here at Pekin First.
All right, and we have a special guest with us.
And this is Ralph Heston, and I'm representing the building committee.
Woohoo!
All right. This is episode 23, and this is called Love for Everyone. And we are going to go over the Love for Everyone campaign, and it's been a 2-year journey. So we're going to go through a 2-year journey and just the things here in the church that it covered, here in and outside the church that it covered. So we start each episode with a personal best. And I will start this week with my personal best. And yesterday, was it yesterday? No, day before yesterday. Sorry, Tuesday. We got to release the Marigold theme. And so I'm wearing, for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm wearing my new Marigold committee shirt, and it is called Pep Rally, and it's a celebration of just the great things happening here in Pekin, and this area's biggest festival. So it's going to be great. So that was my personal best. I got to spend Tuesday night with my Marigold family and just have a lot of fun.
Got some cool swag too.
Cool swag. I've actually got a nickname on the back, and it's Polo.
Oh.
And it's because I always wear polos and shorts. And so one of my friends, and her name is Red Dragon because she's a redhead, and she is all about Pekin. So we call her Red Dragon.
Very good.
So,
Yeah.
All right, Sean?
I'm going to say my personal best this week was Easter Sunday. I just love Easter, everything about it. I love seeing folks in the sanctuary. I love seeing families and children. And we had a great turnout here at the church over the weekend. Even though it rained on Sunday, it was still a great turnout. And we had beautiful music, and we had some art, and we had, we just had a great weekend together, Saturday night and Friday night too. Really, go all the way back. I mean, we really started on Wednesday night with our final Bible study, Thursday night, Maundy Thursday, Friday night, Good Friday, Saturday night service, and 2 on Sunday. It was a wonderful Holy Week, and I think Jesus was honored, and we remembered again the power of the resurrection.
Absolutely. All right. And Ralph?
Yes, this week the building committee got a new piece of artwork, and it's hanging right behind me. You're the first ones to be able to see it right now. It's the I Believe cross. Mm-hmm. And the building committee would like to donate this to the new studio that we're having here as part of the new background or wherever they would like to have it. And so every time that people walk in here or people are recording in here, they believe that they are doing the best that they can, and they believe in Christ our Savior.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate that, and it will be a great decor piece here and a great reminder of why we're here. Gina always wants to know our why, and the ultimate why will be hanging on the wall for sure.
Very good.
All right. Let's dig into the Love for Everyone campaign. We're going to take a look back. This has been a 2-year journey. We started, I believe, so this is 2025. So we started May of 2023. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ralph.
It's been more like 8 years.
Okay. We started the official campaign. Yeah. We got interrupted by COVID. And you want to take us through a quick synopsis of that?
Yeah, we were all ready to go. We had the video ready to go the next day. And we got a call. We're closed. Everything was closed. We went on a hiatus that we thought was going to be 2 years or 2 weeks. It ended up to be 2 years.
Right.
And so then we got back to work again. And finally, we did get started about 2 years on actually the groundbreaking and seeing some of the things come to completion.
Awesome. So let's talk about just some of the things that has happened around the church. Let's start with our conference room. Before it was, so it's just in the years that I've been here, it's been a nursery, it's been a bell room, it went back to a nursery, it's been a youth room, and then it's been a quasi have folding tables in it study room type of thing. And now it is absolutely gorgeous. So walk us through a little bit about what's in there, and just like the table's very special. Just walk us through what that process was like.
Oh, the table was donated by Emmy and her husband. He handmade that amazing centerpiece in the room. As Josh said, we tore out the walls. We did everything we could, took it down to the studs, and Lindsay did a fantastic job of designing and creating the room. Marilyn and Barb have wonderful eyes to help hand pick every single thing that is in that room, from the tile to the light fixtures. The wall that's on there that has all of the nooks in it is a wall that I saw when I was traveling on a ship. And I took pictures of the ship and I said, Lindsay, I like this wall. Duplicate it. And like the magician that he is, he was able to do it. So we've got several pieces in there that we really love. One of the pieces of art is from a lady in Europe. No, I'm sorry, not from Europe. She is from St. Louis. Her work is actually printed in California, and then it's sent back to her to actually apply the gold onto it. So that's one of the centerpieces that we really enjoy in there.
Awesome. Then we had, so the conference room is just a great place, and Sean, you spend quite a bit of time in there. You're a meeting guy, well, not unfortunately, but fortunately. But you spend a lot of time in there, a lot of great tools in there.
Yeah, the conference room is really much more than a conference room. It's a Bible study room. It is a gathering space. It is a wonderful space for, for discipleship and for the business of the church. I mean, we do have to have meetings, so we meet regularly in there. There is a smart board in there. There's access to Wi-Fi fully in there. A little coffee station. Folks can use it from the outside if they want to if they need a conference space or a room to use. I mean, this is not just specifically for our church alone. We want to make sure that everything that we're doing is loving everyone and providing space and places for people who might have needs that we can help provide. So that conference room is really an amazing space.
And Sean, I've noticed that it's being used a lot.
It is, yeah, regularly. I mean, almost every day there's something going on in there. Yeah.
Nice. And just before we didn't really have the space. A lot of it took place either in the sanctuary. We would move the chairs and put tables up in there, or in the children's room upstairs. So we were kind of all over the place, or in the old chapel, which is now where we're sitting in the studio. So that was, our chapel became a meeting room. So that was kind of nice to actually have get rid of the 1958 carpet and and get that in there. So yeah, very, very sound barrier proof and all kinds of stuff. So let's talk about Providence Place. We've talked a lot about Providence Place over the past couple years. Part of this Love for Everyone campaign, they had to stabilize, to my knowledge, they had to stabilize the wall because the property sits kind of below grade of the house next door. So this was part of the Love for Everyone campaign, was to prepare the ground and the wall for the house. And it kind of just took off. Mm-hmm. As soon as the wall was done, the house was built. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, the project, Providence Place project, is a separate project that's being run by our Rock House team here at the church. So the Love for Everyone campaign did make the decision to support a portion of that project by the stabilization piece, as you said. They, of course, support the project fully. They're behind it 100%, so prayer support and everything. But Providence Place, as a project, is separate from the campaign. Currently, the duplex is being built there, and our listeners can go back and listen to some past recordings on this, or even go to our website and find out information. There's so much good stuff happening with that project that's going to help folks who are struggling and trying to find a place to stay, and we're grateful that we have that ongoing. So that's been a little piece of this campaign as well.
Absolutely. And then so we have projects that are completed, projects that are in process, and projects that were a little more of a struggle to get off the ground, but they're still in process. And one of those is the playground. The playground is going out in the parking lot. It is an area that we had to make a yard via city code because you have to have so much water drainage on a property. So we're going to use that land that we have for the playground. Correct?
Yeah, that's right. And it is currently it's being prepared. The land is being prepared, and there's going to be some progress that we'll see done pretty quickly as far as getting the ground ready to go, so that the foundation can be put down. It's a special kind of foundation that needs to be placed down for a playground. And then they're going to move forward with at least getting one piece of equipment. We probably will see that within the next year. A fencing will go up around that, and that's going to be coming together pretty quickly. It is a ADA accessible playground, which means that children and adults with all sorts of differing disabilities will be able to have fun out there, and it's one of the only ones in our community. So it's exciting, and it is the one project that hasn't really fully been completed yet, and it will be coming in the near future.
Okay. I'm going to skip over the studio for now. Let's go into the chapel, because a lot of intricate work went into the chapel to create this area, because it was kind of a dead space in the church, I'll say. We've tried to use it as we used it as like a coffee area, which didn't quite work out because we have a full kitchen downstairs. So Ralph, tell me a little bit about the chapel and how that all came together.
I would love to. The designers that helped us, construction people, came through when everything was finished, and they said, "This is your crowning jewel. This is what we are most proud of all of the constructions that we did." And a lot of planning went into it. We took out 2 exit doors and replaced it with a stained glass window. And just a quick history about the window. Took a while to come up with a design that all of us liked. Then, when we liked it, we took it actually to a glass studio. And the committee picked out by hand every single piece of glass that is in there. There are 3 basic colors based on the triumvirate. Okay, the red, the yellow, and the blue. Every red section has 3 colors of red. Every yellow has 3 yellows. Every blue has 3 blues. We based it on Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So there's meaning behind it. Accidentally, if you call it an accident, or God stepping in and putting his hand on it,
Absolutely.
the wrought iron that goes through and holds it together happened to form into fish, the ichthys. A surprise for all of us.
I call those God incidences.
I think so.
Not coincidences, but God incidences.
That's right. We also had then 3 thicknesses of the stained glass metal that holds it together to show the stability of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost stabilizing our lives. So it does have a great deal of meaning. We took the fixtures from the old chapel and redesigned them to continue to be in there in the new chapel. We took a piece of glass from the original church, had it framed and put into the new chapel. We wanted to keep the integrity and the memories of the old chapel and put them into the new chapel. There's a fountain that'll be going in there, and can I share a secret with the 2 of you?
Absolutely.
You won't tell anybody else.
Nobody else is listening.
You
No, go right
promise?
ahead.
You promise?
Yeah.
There's a piece of artwork that's going to go on the back wall.
Oh.
The finishing touch.
The pièce de résistance.
It's going to be done in about 2 weeks. Okay? This is a secret. You're not going to tell anybody,
No,
right?
you won't say a word. Not a
Please
word.
don't tell anybody. Okay? And it was made in Bulgaria.
Wow.
We got it over here. No tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got it over here. It's being framed, and it's going to be on the back wall.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
So as people walk in, they're going to see the beautiful stained glass window. But as they exit, they're going to see, I'll give you a little bit of a hint, they're going to see Jesus And it's a reminder of his love for all, that he's the shepherd and that he loves all of his children.
Yeah.
Okay?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. We'll have to get that on a video. Well, maybe we'll put it behind us and not tell anybody it's behind us. Yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll see about that.
We'll see. All right, awesome. So the chapel again is open to everyone. We the Love for Everyone was helping make the tools that God has given us accessible for everyone. So if you need somewhere for a quiet prayer, please, that's what that facility is there for you and your thoughts, you and God to talk, or just for quiet time. So
Can I share a quick story
Absolutely.
about that?
Yes.
About 3 weeks ago, we had a gentleman come into the church, and he was clearly upset. I asked him to come in and sit down, and we talked a bit. And he mentioned that his father had just passed away, and he didn't really know where else to go. They didn't have a home church, but he knew of our church, and he wanted to know if there was a way that maybe we could offer them a space, he and his family, a small family, to come together for an hour or so. And I took him to the chapel, and he loved it. And so we said, bring them on in. And on the day of, we had about 15 to 20 folks from that family that were in the chapel, and they had an opportunity just to share stories and to pray together and to remember the life of their father. It was a beautiful thing. So
That's wonderful.
yeah.
that's what makes it all worth it,
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
The stories like that, the way that people can come together, and it helps people for sure. One of the other cool things we did, speaking of access for everyone, was our bathrooms. So we
Just kind of
have
goes downhill from here, doesn't it? After the chapel, we go to the bathrooms. I'm not sure, but it is a special thing, though.
and Sean didn't get the pleasure of seeing the old bathrooms. I don't think.
did not,
No.
no.
And it was it was tight in there for sure. So they did a fantastic job with tiling and stuff like that. Ralph, you want to walk us through kind of everything that was done in there?
Yeah, we had a lot of decisions to be made in there. We could have knocked out some walls and made them bigger. It would have then decreased the size of part of the main where your office is, the main lobby area there, and in some of the offices. It would have decreased that size a lot. Would have cost us a great deal more money. So we went through 4 or 5 designs with the construction people. They came in, did it as efficiently and very, very well, and it's ADA approved, and we just love the looks of them, the efficiency of them, and we hope everybody else will too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's there. So it's 2 floors. It's so 4 bathrooms per floor. The ones in the dining room were already ADA, and now these are all ADA. And what's awesome, and I don't who tells that story, and I think it was it Marilyn or Barb. Barb tells that story about somebody who had visited the church here before all this took place, and they couldn't use the bathrooms up here because the doors weren't wide enough, so they had to go all the way downstairs. So this is an absolute blessing for sure. And then we have, we'll talk about the studio just briefly. We are in the studio. As you can hear, there's a little bit of an echo. We're working on that. So the studio construction is under construction, and all the equipment is due to arrive. So we're pushing to get that project completed as well, to bring you quality podcasts and music and
Quality art.
Quality art, that's right. Quality art. And we have quite a few people that watch online throughout the week. So that'll up the quality of that as well. We'll actually, right now we're up in the booth and we can't really talk to each other. We're to go to different camera angles and stuff like that. So we'll actually be broadcasting from the studio where we can kind of talk a little bit and go to different angles. And it's just, it's kind of a director type of environment versus up in the booth with people right there with you. And you say something and everybody looks back at you. So the studio is coming together as well. So let's talk about this celebration. So we're starting the Love for Everyone campaign, the sermon series. and it's going to end in a celebration. So, Sean, why don't you take us through the Love for Everyone campaign, and then Ralph, you can tell us about the celebration on May 18th.
Yeah, I was, praying about what we were going to do after Easter, and I just felt like as we're coming to the conclusion of the 2-year process for the campaign, this was set to conclude in May of this year, that it would be a good idea to take 3 weeks and talk about this with the congregation again, to remind them of where we've been, what we've done, what's still to be done, and to tie everything into Scripture. So, for example, this weekend, I'm going to focus on the idea of God's house. And I'm going to focus on the building, the sanctuary, the chapel, everything that we're doing here, and how it is part of God's house, and how important that is for us to remember. From a theological standpoint, this is not just a building project. This is something that actually honors God with what we're doing, and it helps us to be the church for ourselves and for the community as a whole. So we're going to do some theological look at this idea of love for everyone. And again, bottom line on this is that we're doing all this because we do want to create space for everyone to feel like they are welcome and that they are loved and that grace is offered to them. So a lot of people, I think, feel like they can't be a part of a church family for one reason or another. It's not a space for them, and we want to bust through that and make sure that people understand that whoever you are, wherever you've been, whatever you've done, you are welcome and you are loved by God and you be loved by us. So we're going to look at that for 3 weeks, and then that will culminate on May the 18th, which will be Sunday, May the 18th. We're going to take all of our 3 worship services and combine them together at 10 a.m. on May the 18th. We're going to have a big celebration followed by a catered meal for the congregation who wants to stay. And it'll just be a great day for us to celebrate and say, look what God has done.
All right. Awesome. Anything to add, Ralph?
One more thing. This entire campaign, from the very beginning, has been dedicated not just to us right now. Our entire decisions have been made for future generations.
Yeah.
And we hope that 50 years from now, people will look back and say, I'm so glad that somebody loved God and loved their community and loved their church to do these beautifications. Every single decision was made with that in mind.
Well, and even you say that, and even the studio here, there's already been, we're doing some recordings for Marigold and stuff like that, and we're going to try to record the fight song from the band, and I'm like, bring the band and to do the fight song right here in the studio, we can record it. So just things like that. This is not your 100%. Sean said it too. This is not a Pekin First thing. This is a community thing. We have so many community events that we help with and we volunteer for, and that happen outside this building. The Marigold Festival, the entire Marigold Festival took place here one year in the parking lot. So we have the Festive Foods meeting that happens here in the sanctuary. So just the gifts that God has given us, we use for the entire community for sure.
I want to piggyback on one thing that Ralph just said, which I think is really, really important, and that is the future generations. There is a what do you want to call it? I guess there's a report out, a rumor out. There's a lot of talk out there that is calling, is suggesting that the church is dying, that the church in America does not have a future. And I'm always mindful of this really kind of humorous story about Mark Twain. Somebody thought that Mark Twain had died, and they put something in the newspaper that said, we're so sorry to hear about the death of Mark Twain. And he wrote back to the newspaper the next day, and he said, the reports of Mark Twain's death are greatly exaggerated, because he was fully alive. And I'd say that about the church, too. The reports of the death of the church are greatly exaggerated. There is great hope for the church. The church is never going to die. Jesus said the gates of hell will not prevail against the church. The church will always be alive. And we just need to remember remember that, and we need to remember that there is a future for this. Our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, we're going to celebrate 200 years as a church in 2026. We want to see 200 more years of this church. So, yeah, that's really, really important. Everything that's being done here is not just for this generation. It's for the future.
And Ralph, you tend to focus on the next generation because you are a teacher, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. Having Ralph on the committee has been fun for me as a video creator because we've created some pretty funny videos in the past. So, and I had no idea that he was that.
Goofy.
No, that talented, because it's a talent to be able to act like that. So it's been it's been a pleasure for sure.
I'll bake you some cookies.
Some marigold cookies. All right, so things going on around here besides the new sermon series this week, and then the big celebration on May 18th. Some other things we got going on. May 4th, coming up May 4th, there's a starting May 4th, there's a canned food drive, and all the donations are going to a domestic violence shelter called the Carroll House of Hope. We have some people here at the church that are very passionate about that, and we're going to take food donations from the 4th to the 25th, and the donation things will, to my understanding, will be in the lobbies. Or you can just drop them off in the office, or just drop them off the floor right inside the door. It's fine. We'll figure out where they go. We have an art show that is for the same cause, and that is happening May 18th here at Pekin First. It's happening down in Whitfield Hall. And that's from 5:30 to 8 p.m. So you want to take a break that's graduation weekend. Take a break from your graduate or going to the graduation things, and just come here to Pekin First between 5:30 and 8 and check out the art show. Wednesday, April 30th from 10 to 8, we have a Unite Youth. April 30th from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. There we go. The Unite Youth fundraiser at Papa Murphy's. So order some pizza online and make sure you put support in the online code, and that part of the purchase will go to the Unite Youth to help them with their summer activities and things like that. Speaking of the Unite Youth, I know I promised a couple weeks ago that we would have Unite Youth on. We are going to attempt again to make that happen for the next podcast. So that would be episode 24. We're going to try to get the Unite Youth on here and talk about their latest adventure. So
That Papa Murphy deal also, if you use support online, you get 20% off of your purchase. So you get a deal as well.
That's right. And I believe they have gluten-free stuff.
Oh,
So,
they do.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to talk my wife into not cooking, which I don't think is going to be much of a talk. So tis the season, right, Sean? They are outside in the garden. So me and Sean's wife, they have a connection, and that is through the earth, through the gardens. They love them.
Don't we all, though, really have that same connection?
Well, yeah.
But only those with the green thumbs really can appreciate it and understand what that means, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Her and my daughter planted seeds this weekend, and so every morning when she gets up, she bypasses me, she bypasses the coffee, and out to the garden she goes. So it has been a pleasure to speak with you this week, and Ralph, thank you for coming in and going through the Love for Everyone campaign. And anybody else got anything else before we take off?
It was a great interview. Thank you, Ralph, for being here with us.
Certainly.
Awesome. Yeah.
Certainly. Thank you.
All right. And remember, God put us here to do great things. So let's go do great things.